Hello, guys. How we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. I was out having a laugh and a joke actually on the train this morning, mate, and it said it's a change that is positive, mate. Like, for 4 years, we've sat here and just have to discuss so much negativity, so much dross. You know, since like the Payet season, that last season at Upton Park, there hasn't been much to look forward to. But I tell you what, now, mate, I love it. I love watching West Ham again. I love the feel about the club. I love the players at the moment. Like I feel a real connection to West Ham again. What about you, mate?
No, 100%, mate. And I'll tell you what, I've actually really liked obviously it's not necessarily good for us, but I've really liked the 2 games a week because it's just all the time. I'm like you say, you're really looking forward to the next game. As soon as the game's finished, especially because we're on such a good run, as soon as the game's finished, you can't wait for the next one. And you know what? I'm sure the players are the same, mate. You know what it's like, you know, and I bet for the players as well, they're playing so well. I bet at the end of every game, especially when we're winning, they're like, oh, I can't wait to get to the next one. Can't wait to get to the next one. And that energy is just carrying on. Yeah,
it's very easy as well, like, you know, to go on a good run because the games are so thick and fast. And if you do have a blip, it's very easy to get yourself out of it because, like you say, mate, the games are so thick and fast. Where should we start? Should we get the slight negative out of the way with the Liverpool game? Should we talk about that? I'll tell you what we'll talk about, actually. I'll tell you what we'll talk about first, mate. How did you feel at the end of the transfer window? Obviously, we've not done a show since then. And how did you feel then? And how do you feel now? So start with then as the day.
How I felt then
materialized.
And how I feel now hasn't changed, mate. Hasn't changed. Incredibly disappointing window. Screams of penny pinching. You know, I know everything that Moyes came out and said publicly. I don't believe that, you know, apparently Sullivan turned around and said, oh, he had 30 million to spend if he wanted it. I don't believe that if Moyes had 30 million pounds, he wouldn't have spent it. It might have been a case of Sullivan saying, oh, I'll tell you what, here's 30 million, but you can only have this one or this one or this one. Not one that Sullivan wants, not one that Moyes wants. So no, a very, very, very poor window, mate. And it's you know, whatever you thought about Sebastian Haller, whether you liked him, whether you didn't like him, whatever you thought about him, at least he was there to take pressure off of Antonio. He was there as a body. And don't forget, we got to where we are throughout the first half of the season, playing a lot of games with Haller up front.
Well, you said it, mate, didn't you? I think you put it in our chat, or you may have even mentioned it on the podcast the other week, about although he wasn't brilliant, he scored a couple of goals that got us 6 points. You know, and by not having no one there, it just, I don't know, it just adds a little bit of unnecessary pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a really, really poor. And even before we sold him, first of all, I couldn't, you know, when we sold him, because we sold him so quick, we sold him so early, and I'm sure everyone was the same. Everyone's thinking, oh, there must be someone lined up to come in. I'm pretty sure I said to you again in the chat, mate, when he went, someone's going to sign either the next day or that evening. I was sure that they must have had someone lined up. Nothing. You know, before we sold him, we needed a striker, we needed a central defender, sorry, not a central defender, a centre mid, and a left back. 3 positions we needed before we sold him. Then we sold him. So then we needed 2 strikers, central midfielder and left back. In the end, we signed Lingard. And I actually said at the time, and I sent this to a few people, I said at the time, I think Lingard could be a really good signing for us, but he's not what we need.
Now, maybe after watching last night's game, which we'll talk about in a minute.
I was going to say, now after last night, I understand, because he's a good player to come in to take, and he's a very, very, very good player. But he's a good player to come in and take pressure off of, you know, the likes of Fornell's Bow, and obviously we were able to give them a rest. But it's another attacking midfielder. It still doesn't address, you know, if Souček or Rice get injured, it doesn't address Cresswell being the only left back at the club, you know, having no recognised striker. It doesn't address those problems. So no, overall, I think it was a very, very poor window, mate. And hopefully we're lucky with injuries and we're okay, but it wouldn't take much to see our season completely derail. Our squad is so light.
Yeah, no, mate. You may have seen my rant video I did the day after. Like, it got really good response, and I'm thankful for that. I was just disappointed. Listen, like you say, mate, we've all heard the rhetoric of Moyes saying he had this amount of money and he wants the right person. I respect that if it is true, but it's a case of just a body there. Like, and I even said it, mate. It's not a point of signing just another random. It was just so there's some cover there, like you say, mate. With Hollah, this was a guy who it wasn't working out for, yet he still scored 2 goals that got us 6 points. So just having someone there, somebody there. I was really on the Diego Costa one. I was thinking, come on, just get him in anything.
He hasn't signed, has he? He hasn't signed for anything.
Mate, he hasn't, but he wants a lot of money.
That's the thing. Because he's a free agent, he can still sign for anyone whenever. But that's the thing. Like you say, the money, the wages. But it depends how you weigh it up. If we offer him a 6-month deal and we pay him, 200 grand a week, it's working out a few £1 million. How much would it have cost to loan somebody in to the end of the season? Probably pay a few £1 million loan fee. So, you can kind of balance it up. But yeah, it'd be a fun player to bring in.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So on to Liverpool. The only other little negative I want to touch on today. It was disappointing, weren't it? And I hate to use the word, but we pooed ourselves a bit, didn't we? Like,
there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it, mate. It was you could tell the difference between yesterday and the Liverpool game, and then even the Palace game before that. The difference with the Liverpool game was we were terrified of them. We were scared of them, and I again, I said this yesterday after the game. I don't want to lay into Moyes because he got everything right yesterday and everything was brilliant yesterday. But that came from him. If you saw his interview before the Liverpool game, he was saying, oh, well, we're not on their level. Maybe we're not, but it doesn't matter. You've got to try and instill the belief into your players that you can win. Coming out and saying, oh, we'll try our best to give them a game. What message is that sending?
I think as well, what was more frustrating is, we got that amazing result yesterday, which we'll talk about. And then you see that Brighton beat them. It was just like, oh, come on, man. They were there for the take. We made that Phillips look like prime Maldini, mate.
Hey, if you look at what's Liverpool's recent record? We're their first win in ages.
Yeah, mate. Since they lost that home record, they've really gone. They've really gone wobbly.
And it was so disappointing that we didn't give them a game. And like you say, obviously, the Brighton result shows it even more. And like I say, I know everyone who watches this show regularly knows my opinions on David Moyes, and like I said, I don't want to lay into him because, and I'll be honest, mate, he started to win me over. He really has. But it's things like that. Yeah, it's things like that that it just keeps giving me doubts. I think and this was a criticism of him when he was at Manchester United as well, that he was scared of the big clubs. Do you know what I mean? When he was always worried about what they were going to do rather than what his players were going to do. And I think that's maybe an issue. But I was gutted, mate, because after the Palace game, I thought we were fantastic. I thought we were brilliant. It was the best I'd seen us play.
You had good character in that game.
Up to that point, we were fantastic. And at that point, we come out, we were attacking, the pressing all over the pitch, closing down was brilliant. At that point, I thought, yeah, Moyes has won me over here. That game, I thought, yeah, this is it. Moyes has won me over. If this is how he's going to play for the rest of the season, give that man a new contract. And then the Liverpool game happened. And I just thought, why?
No, I was so deflated after the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
And that's really, that shows where we've come as a club, though.
Oh, yeah, of course it does. But then, to flip that around again, last night, we were brilliant. Last night, Moyes got everything right. The team selection, doubling up on Grealish, using Fredericks. Everyone played well.
Very clever.
Moyes got everything right, and I give him full credit for that. He got everything right. We played really good football, probably one of our best performances of the season. It was brilliant. That's what I want to see from him. If he can not be so scared of the so-called big clubs, and we've got a few games against them coming up very soon, then we'll be flying, mate.
Let's go into the chat because there's a few comments about the Liverpool game. Sufyan says Liverpool game was poor. Antonio couldn't get a kick. Looked like old West Ham, but yesterday we looked a lot better. Yeah, we was really predictable in the Liverpool game. I'm just going to get these negatives out of the way. Liverpool just lost to Brighton, who were attacking. That's nonsense. Gary Page says, as long as we beat the teams below us, we will have a great season. We're already better than the last one. That's it. It's progress already, whatever happens between now and the end of the season. Spurs had no Kane and just made 3 individual errors. Yeah. So last night then, mate, positive time. What can I say, mate? What can I say? You know, that was up there. You know, probably our best performance before that was probably the Leicester game when we were just immense. Leicester and the Wolves game. I think that was probably performance of the season so far last night. It was just brilliant, mate. Interchanges in play. Jesse Lingard was incredible. The link up with Ben Rama. Listen, that Ben Rama pass, if that was Kevin De Bruyne, you know, that's getting repeated all over Twitter. Just fantastic, mate, weren't it? Just fantastic.
It was brilliant, and everything, like I say, everything was right. The selection was right. The way we lined up was right. We completely nullified Grealish. We got everything right, and apart from maybe the first half hour, Dawson looked a bit dodgy the first sort of half hour.
Yeah, his touch was letting him down a bit. Wasn't it?
But he recovered, and you know, he grew into the game. Apart from that, everyone was brilliant. Everyone knew their job. Everyone did their job fantastic. And like you say, mate, about the movement and the speed of play and everything, that all came from Jesse Lingard straight away.
They was looking for him all the time, weren't they?
Literally, I said this last night, and Bowden, if he's here watching today, I said to him, like, Lingard has got that big club mentality. You can tell he's come from he's a winner. You can tell he's come from a big club. See, when I watch games, I do this all the time, literally all the time. I watch games. I watch Liverpool play, I watch City play, I watch Man United play, and the way that they move the ball so quick and their triangles and their movement and everything.
They're looking for a goal. They're looking for that goal.
Exactly. I watch them teams play. You know, your Barcelona's, Real Madrid, your top teams. I watch them play, and I think, why don't West Ham play like that? Why can't West Ham play like that? Why don't we move the ball that quick? And then you get a player like Lingard, and that's the first time in a long time I've seen that from a player in a West Ham shirt. Yeah, like, as soon as he got the ball, he was going for goal. His movement was brilliant. It was silly things like the ball went out a play, and while Cresswell was ambling over to take the throw, he ran, picked the ball up. Right, no, let's go. Throw it in. Let's go.
His mentality was fantastic, mate.
His mentality was brilliant. He was so direct, really attacking, always looking for the ball. His movement off the ball was fantastic.
I love what he did to was it Mings down the right hand side where he twisted him inside out twice. That was just amazing, brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah,
but yeah, really, really exciting player. Really, really exciting. We know there's a player in there, mate. It's you know, I said it in my video yesterday where I said, you know, if we get a Jesse Lingard that's hungry, you know, he can score goals, he can assist goals. I even said in that video about the winning mentality and a point to prove. That's what I said as well. A Jesse Lingard with a point to prove. So let's go through it a little bit then. So the first goal, my favourite player of the season so far, without a doubt. You know, Oggie's up there, but mate, every time Tom scores, you know, he just gets a bit more love from me. Do you know what I mean? I love the geezer. He's just so good. And that showed a different finish yesterday, didn't it? You know,
he took that fantastic.
Fantastic goal, mate.
He took it so well. You know, imagine if Antonio could strike a ball like that.
yeah. Antonio had a very similar chance later on, didn't he, outside the boot? Yeah, great ball from Ben Rama. Lovely finish. Just a really, really good goal and well deserved at that point as well. Second goal, credit to credit to Antonio. That was a good ball for Jesse Lingard. That was, but again, mate, it's that first touch. Jesse Lingard's first touch on the chest into his foot and release. Yeah, the goalkeeper should have saved it. But you don't shoot, you don't score.
That was a massive difference. And again, like I say, where everything positive started with him. You know, he had a shot on target after about 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was
where we cut him. Yeah. Great shot. But he had a shot on target from outside the box after about 3 minutes. And I think literally 15, 20 minutes into the game, we'd had 7 or 8 shots and Villa would have one. How many times have we played recently and we've had no shots?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just the difference was massive, and the other players you could tell were feeding off that and picking up off of that. It was so good to see, so good to see. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Fantastic goal. Obviously, Villa did pull one back. One of the players I really like, Ollie Watkins. You know, the fact that Grealish had to move to the left-hand side showed you what a job that Soufal had done on him.
Right, so our left,
that he moved, to attack Cresswell showed you a job that he did on him. Their goal, it was a good goal, wasn't it? He took that lovely Ollie Watkins. I do like him. I'm a big fan of him. We kept Barkley really quiet as well, didn't we?
He didn't have a good game
either. Like we did a bloody good job on him last night. I tell you.
We did, mate. We really did. You know, I think Moyes got it 100% right. You know, he looked at them and said, right, without Grealish, they ain't nothing. So he doubled up on Grealish.
Genius tactic, because we all looked at the team and it was like, well, Frederick's playing right wing. I don't know whether Andy's in the chat. I remember him saying it on the chat nearly every week, doesn't he? He goes, do you fancy Fredericks as a right winger? And then we've always been a bit like, actually, you know, he did quite a good job last night.
He did. I don't think he's not the answer long term, but in situations like that, where you want to double up on someone and cover them and take them out of the game, it worked really well. And actually, he did really well when I think it was Fredericks where it was against Mings, and he ran up the right hand side and he nutmegged him twice. Literally just boom, boom.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then put the cross in. He had a really good game, probably his best game in a West Ham shirt.
I don't think he's had a bad game this year, mate. I think he was one of the better players against Newcastle, better players against Arsenal. Yeah. Before the third goal came, Antonio had his one, didn't he? Where got cleared off the line by Mings. That was unlucky. That was though.
It was very unlucky. He took it really well. He took it really well. Did everything right. Couldn't have done anything different. Did everything right and just unlucky. Good defending. I like Mings, to be fair. He's a good defender.
He's a unit. They've got a good defence. Matty Cash is a good player as well. I'm trying to think. There was one more before the goal. Actually, Thomas Souček had the diving header as well.
There was a couple, mate. He had the diving header. You had right near the start, Antonio had one where he took it and volleyed it, but he basically kicked it straight to keeper. We had loads of chances. I think we had. I'm trying to remember the stats of the game now, but at the end of the game, we had something like 20 attempts, like 11 on target. It was mad numbers for West Ham.
Crazy, man. And then the third goal, was it Benrahma assist again? Who was it who played Jesse in for the third goal? I can't remember.
That was
the other side, wasn't it?
It was the other side, yeah.
I think it was Benrahma. I think Benrahma played him in. No,
I think it was Antonio.
Yeah, 2 assists.
I'm pretty sure Antonio got 2 assists.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got 2 assists. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
I might be wrong. I'm not sure.
Another, bit lucky with a finish, but I don't care. You don't shoot, you don't score. It's that classic what we said.
Oh no, Antonio. The third goal, was Antonio still on the pitch?
I can't remember. But yeah,
there you go. It was Antonio. There you go.
Brilliant for Jesse to get 2 goals though. Who was your man of the match, mate?
You have to give it to Lingard. Purely, there's a lot of candidates.
Soufal's up there though.
There's a lot of candidates. Soufal easily could have got it. Brilliant game. Souček, obviously, again, fantastic. But for me, Lingard had such an impact on the game and the squad.
The fact that it got through 90 minutes as well.
Yeah.
And have the legs to score them goals. You've got to give it to him. Fantastic.
No, definitely for me, man of the match. 2 goals on your debut, right foot, left foot. The energy, the making things happen. He was brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Good to see Gareth Southgate looking at him as well. That will give him loads of confidence as well. Just one more thing on Soufal. I'll tell you what I like about Soufal. He seems like the sort that proper gets in people's ears. I can imagine he really rattles Grealish last night. Like, didn't you pass me again?
There was a couple of times where there was one bit where Grealish went down, and I can't remember. I think it was Fredericks who challenged him, and Grealish went down, and Fredericks went over to help him up, and Soufal pulled Fredericks away. It's like, no, don't pick him up. Don't pick him up.
No,
It's like pulled him away. And then, I don't know if you noticed as well, Soufal was obviously proper fired up. I don't know if you noticed, Cresswell was setting up a free kick. Soufal walked past and just pushed him. Just pushed Cresswell. Like, he was obviously proper.
He was right up for the challenge last night.
Yeah,
like,
he was well fired up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him, his Instagram. He posted some pictures on Instagram last night saying, I look like a psycho on the pitch sometimes, but everything's for the team. And it was just a picture of him going like
I love it, mate. I think he's fantastic. £5 million for a right back. Unbelievable. What's your rating for Moyes actually, mate? In terms of that game, if you had to give him like a rating out of 10, what would you give him?
10 out of 10, mate. 10 out of 10. Oh, no. I'm going to change that. And I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Everything was brilliant. The tactics, the team, the way we played, everything was fantastic. He got everything right. I didn't like that he waited too long. He waited till we conceded to make subs. And I think you could see 5 minutes before they scored, you could see we were getting tired. They were getting on top. You could see it. And it was another one of those situations where I'm screaming at the TV.
Nervous, yeah.
Please.
A bit nervous, yeah.
Bring on some legs. You could see we were getting tired. And he didn't react until we conceded. That's my only criticism. It's a small criticism. It's my only criticism. Thankfully, we scored not long after. Otherwise, it would have been a nervy last sort of 10 minutes. But apart from that, everything else was brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
Oh, yeah. I agree, mate. 9.5. I thought it was fantastic. You could tell, with the Fredericks thing, it's easy to keep going on about it. But, he's actually devised a plan for Villa. This weren't just square pegs round holes. It was, I tell you what, this is the way to do them. We're just going to double up on him. We're going to make that right hand side nearly impossible to get done. And stroke of genius, mate. Really was.
I was surprised actually. Just to mention that, I was very surprised that what's his name? What's their manager's name?
Dean Smith.
I was surprised. I mean, it was obvious what we were doing right from the start. I'm surprised it took him so long
to move him, to
move Grealish over. I really am. But there you go.
Yeah, no, good for us. Right, before I go into comments, Matt, I do want to ask you a question about Jesse Lingard now. So the only thing I thought last night though was, okay, Jesse, you played too well. You probably won't be staying in the summer. What do you think, mate? I know it's really early. We're getting a little bit too excited, but if he's putting in that sort of level of performance towards the end of it, will he be a West Ham player 2022 season?
I mean, it's a real shame that we haven't got an option to buy. There must be a reason why we haven't got an option to buy. Man United must not have wanted to put it in the contract.
I don't see where he fits in at United, though.
No, I think the thing is, and I've got a few friends who support Man United, and they all said, because I said to them last night, it's a shame we didn't have a buying clause. And they said, well, he's not going to be playing for Man United next year because he can't get in the team. He doesn't fit in the team.
McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford, Greenwood.
So he's probably going to move at the end of the season. All we can really hope is...
I think he's got a lot of love for Moyes. I think there's a good relationship there with Moyes.
I think if he carries on, obviously we can't get too carried away. He's only played one game.
Yeah.
But if he carries on the rest of the season like that, hopefully, he falls in love with the club. The players, he seems to get on well with some of the players. You see at the end of the game last night.
Right, Antonio, there's a good space there. Yeah.
Even I don't know if you saw as I was walking off the pitch, Kevin Nolan was up, shaking his head and all the rest of it. And hopefully he really likes it here. Then you never know. But then if he does carry on like he did last night for the rest of the season, how much is he going to cost?
Oh, God knows, mate. They made a good point on Match of the Day. I don't know if you watched Match of the Day last night. They said Jesse will probably relish, being a big fish in a small pond. It's all about him. It's all about him.
I did watch. Can I just say, mate, Match of the Day was disgusting. I never watch Match of the Day anymore. I don't watch it anymore. And I wanted to watch it last night because I just wanted to see what they said. They will not praise West Ham.
Oh, yeah, no, it was Villa Rapport. Yeah,
they will not praise West Ham. Villa had an off day. And it was all about Lingard. And then when they were talking about Lingard, they weren't talking about West Ham. They were talking about Man United.
Yeah.
They will not praise West Ham. When you watch the game on BT, and at full time on BT. Don't get me wrong, it's all hyperbole and all the rest of it. But they were talking about West Ham as being outside Champions League contenders. They were having that discussion. Yeah, they were having that discussion. Match of the day. Gloss over it completely. Yeah. They'll talk about teams behind us being title contenders, but they will not give West Ham credit. I hate Match of the Day. I never ever watch it anymore because of that. I don't know why they've got a problem with West Ham, but they've got a problem with West Ham. It winds me up. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No, it's because Sir Trev ain't there no more, mate. When Sir Trev was there, he used to talk about us every week. But yeah, basically they were saying big fish, small pond. It could work out for him, and I hope it does. I hope it does, mate. Right, let's get in the comments. So Sufyan says he looked like a player who has played at the top level. Yes, the movement he made when he was off the ball was incredible, and he was linking up with our players like he'd been playing for 2 years. That's a good player, though, mate. A good players can do that. It's a bit like over the playground when you're a kid. The best player comes over. He's just got that ability to play football. Do you know what I mean? There used to be a guy that used to go over the Astro near Newham, if anyone used to play over there in the chat. A geezer called Marcus, unbelievable footballer. He just had that ability to come and play with anyone. Back in a few previews about to premiere. Lingard had a great attitude, fantastic attitude. He showed Grealish levels. Do you think Ryan Fredericks will start at Fulham, or will Bowen come in?
I think Bowen will come back in. I think obviously the reason why Fredericks played, obviously to give Bowen a rest, but it was to double up on Grealish. So I don't think that will be, going forward. You're not going to see that every week unless there's another situation like that. So yeah, I definitely think Bowen will come straight back in.
I agree, mate. I do agree. Are we going to manage with one striker for the rest of the season? It's more of a waiting game, isn't it? And how long before Antonio pings it? Do you know what I mean? Is he gonna get through 20 games? Realistically, could you sit here now and go, I'll put 20 quid on him to get through 20 games? I don't think so. I think it's all about managing him, and hopefully Lingard, if he's going to use him as a striker, will take that pressure off. But I do want to see Odebeku starting to get 10 and 15 minutes here, so it's not like a duck in water. That's the wrong phrase, isn't it? Just throwing him in. Let him ease in a bit. Give him them 10 minutes here and there. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I agree, mate, with everything you said. Basically, it all depends, doesn't it? Are we going to manage one strike? Probably not. Although the thing is Antonio hasn't been scoring goals recently, and we've still been getting the results. The midfielders are scoring the goals, which is great. I'd be more worried if
Souček got injured.
If we lost like Souček
or
Rice, I'd be more worried. But it doesn't change the fact that we need another striker desperately. We desperately need another striker. Antonio's been amazing, but we need someone better than Antonio who's going to finish their chances. I think, and I said yesterday, people will disagree with me, but I think in the last couple of games now, Antonio's had about 5 chances where you'd expect him to score. He's missed them all.
I think he's been unlucky in the Palace game, though. The Palace, he hit the post twice, didn't he?
He was unlucky.
Yeah.
He was unlucky, but it keeps going. He can't be unlucky forever, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Goal. He does need a goal. I'm saying he needs a goal. He's got bloody 13 in 19, but he just needs another one so it doesn't go on too long.
Yeah.
I think we have goals scores in the team if Antonio gets injured anyway. Yeah. What was it? Like I say, Thomas Souček. You take penalties away from Bruno Fernandes. He's the top goal scoring midfielder in the Premier League. And I hope he wins manager of the month, player of the month this month. Probably won't because it's all political. We must have signing of the season. Yeah. Which one? Sufal, Souček. Do you know what I mean? They're fantastic. Lingard could go on and be that. Even if Lingard goes at the end of the season, he will improve. But Rama, Bowen, Fornals, having worked with him in training. Yeah, fair point. Irish Tommy says, I'm late and evening, Tom. I've seen Lingard play better. He can get better. I tell you what, it takes something to play better than last night. He got fantastic last night. last week after the Palace match of the day praised us, but the man who played for Barcelona wasn't on it. Old Gary. Cheeky 50 million summer bid. What, for Lingard? I think it'd be a bit more than 15, mate. The only thing is his contract. He's only got about a year left on his contract, but
18 months in a year, so he'll have a year left in the summer.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, though. What about you, mate? What sort of price would you not be begrudged to play? I think I'd pay 25 to 28 million for him.
If he plays to the levels,
if he's a perfect player, you pay whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If he plays to the levels he played at last night for the rest of the season, 25, 30 million, I'd drop on him, no problem. He was that good, mate. He was head and shoulders better than anyone else.
Well, improve the team, didn't he? Come straight and improve the team. Yeah. So yeah, you. The thing is, if he's Moyes' number one player, it doesn't matter what the price is. You pay it because he's the missing piece of that puzzle. We know he'll work. Kent, we could win 15-0 and they would still put us last on match of the day. Sorry, gents, I'm late to the party. I'm still buzzing from last night's game. Yeah, mate, you called it, didn't you? Ryan Fredericks. You're the man who always says it. Ryan Fredericks, right wing. What we got here? Bloody thing in front of my screen. I can't get to the chat. Here we go. I'm still floating on cloud 9. How are you? Oh, one minute. You lot are chatting there, having a little love in there. Oh yeah, we didn't discuss that, mate. What about that? 100% a pen but he was too honest.
There you go, mate. Too honest. If he went down, he wins a penalty. It's a joke. Decisions like that don't get looked at are a joke. They're an absolute joke. Yeah, it was a definite penalty. He should have gone down. Too honest. Thankfully, we didn't need it. Only team in the league not to get a penalty this season. Ridiculous.
Yeah. How long will that go on for, mate? Here we go. Dan Bowden asked a good question here. Who do you want in our Champions League group? I was having this conversation in work. Obviously, we won't be seeded if we got there. God, please, God. But just to get there, and I hope, we won't be a seeded club. I hope we get Barcelona. I want to see Real Madrid. I want to see
Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, Bayern Munich. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're never going to win the Champions League.
Enjoy that experience, Atletico, bloody, just the world leading clubs coming to the London Stadium.
Exactly. That's what you want. You want to play the best teams in the world, and I don't think we'll finish top 4. I don't think we'll get Champions League. If we did, let's pray that fans can go.
Oh, it'd be cruel. It'd be so cruel, wouldn't it?
Because I've been dreaming that for years and years and years.
Just one season of my life.
To see the likes of
just to hear that music, mate. To hear the music.
For me to go and watch West Ham play Barcelona and see our players take on the likes of Lionel Messi. That's the dream. He might not be there next year, but that's the dream. Do you know what I mean?
I think that West Ham bloody turn up and do them. It would be typical us to go and do them. Evening all from Australia. Evening, mate. Is the hatred for the ball beginning to go false? Good question.
No, never say that.
If anyone watched my video, they would know that my anger's still there towards the ball. As I say, the famous phrase is support the team, not the regime. Listen, there's nothing they can do for me now to replace it. Even if we got Champions League this year, even if we won the FA Cup, it's got nothing to do with them.
There you go.
Coaching is being fantastic.
That's it, mate. If any success we get this season is in spite of the board, not because of them. It's in spite of them. And honestly, it's such a shame that fans ain't allowed in the stadium, because now, when things are going well, now is the time to protest. Now is the time to do it, because if you only do it when you're playing bad and you're losing,
the media can twist it.
Exactly, the media just go, "Oh, you're only moaning because you're not doing well." Now we're doing well. Now is the time to put the pressure on, because they can't use that excuse. No. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're talking personally from our for us. I'm sure there's a significant portion of West Ham fans that will never forgive the board. We're part of that. In the wider fan base, there are going to be fans out there that are thinking, oh, well, things are going well. What are you moaning for? But they don't get it. They don't get it.
No, they don't get it. And that's the problem, isn't it? You know, when you've got the puppets like Jim White and Moose and stuff like that, giving it all the, I don't know what they're moaning about. They're in the top 5. And, you know, what do they need a striker for? David Sullivan has said there's 30 million sitting there.
Great impression.
I can't do Moose, sorry. Where's the pork pies? But you know what I mean? It's that there's no context to what they're saying. It's all just facts and stuff that opposition fans would think, God, West Ham, there must be awful fan base without no context there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah, we didn't make the promises at the end of the day. We didn't say world-class stadium, world-class team, world-class players. We didn't say that, but we're not going over that today. We are desperate. Sorry, we desperately need a hashtag real number 9. Imagine how good Watkins would be for us. Yeah, and Callum Wilson, mate. Callum Wilson, fantastic player. What a header he scored the other day. I don't know whether you see it, mate. Callum Wilson's header. He's like Alan Shearer. Fantastic player. What a player. Can we afford him now? And I assume that's Lingard. Well, what I said to my mate on the train this just as we was coming home from work was, so supposedly there's 30 million there sitting there, yeah? Okay. Surely there's some sort of transfer budget for the summer as well. 20 million, 25 million. That's 55 million. Sell Felipe Anderson for 15, 20 million. You're hitting that 70 million mark. Surely 30 million gets him out of Manchester United. Yes or no?
Oh yeah, 30 million you would get him, but I don't believe the money's there. This is the same thing, and we've heard over and over and over and over again. Oh no, we'll save the money for the summer. Get better value in the summer. More targets are available. We'll save the money for the summer. Mate, the amount of times we've heard that, we should have about 500 million to spend. The amount of times we've heard it, the amount of money we've got we've got like 50 million pound off the wage bill in the last couple of years.
Oh, massive amount of money, mate.
The amount of money that we haven't spent, I don't believe it, mate. It's all right. The summer will come around, and all of a sudden, that 30 million pound, it'll be, oh well, we used that money to buy Ben Rama. Oh, that money's gone. Well, we used that to buy Ben Rama. I don't believe a word of it, mate. I don't believe a word of it. Don't believe a word of it.
Ben Davis says, Watkins would have done us well. I like Tony as well. Yeah, Tony, obviously top goal scorer for Brentford in the Championship for anyone who doesn't know him. I packed him this morning, actually. He's team of the week. Question, where can you see us finishing this season? We are currently 5th in the league. I would be happy, and I'd bite your hand off now, for 7th or 8th. What about you, mate?
I think that's probably where we'll finish. I can see us having a real good push for Europe. Like I said, I don't think we're going to finish in the top 4. I think we can have a real good push for the Europa League positions, depending on injuries and all the rest of it. But I think if we finish anywhere 8th and above, that's a good season. Yeah. And that's what I think now as a club and that as the team, that's what they should be targeting now.
Guy I work with,
just to go back to that, just because I saw someone talking about it today on these other brand, they worked out where we're on, like the points total we're on target for, and if we carry on the same points per game for the rest of the season, I think he said 60. It's about 63 to 66 points, which last year would have been enough to get Champions League, but last year was the lowest it's been for a long time. Before that, seasons before that, it's been at least 70 points to get Champions League. But if we carry on the way we're going, there's no reason why we shouldn't be in that. I don't want to say top 4, but in that conversation, in that sort of 5th to 8th bracket. That's where we should be in that bracket.
Definitely. Sam, a guy I work with, Newcastle fans, so it's nice to have different fans in as well. At what point do you readjust your targets for the season Now you might be looking, say, top 8. At what point do you go, okay, we're a top 6 club now or a top 4 club, sitting 5th with 10 to play, for example? That's a good point. Yeah, I think at the moment, Sam, like we said, 5th, anywhere between 6th and 8th at the minute would be a really, really good, solid finish for us. But yeah, like you said, mate, if we're sitting there with 10 games to go, what are you thinking, Paul? I'll get really excited.
You'll be getting excited, but it's like until the final whistle goes on the final day.
Oh my God.
It reminds me of the season Leicester won the league, the Leicester season. It kept going, and I kept thinking it, and I'm sure most fans kept thinking it, and everyone kept saying it. They're not going to win the league. Like, they'll fall off eventually, but they just kept winning. And it weren't until literally right near the end of the season, you started thinking, hang on a minute, they might actually win the league.
Yeah, they've done it.
I think it'd be like that. I wouldn't believe it. I'd be constantly thinking, it's not going to happen.
What would worry me, so say if it gets down to the last 10, for example, and we're still in the conversation, is our inexperience of it, inexperience of knowing that game's there. The hardest one, obviously, to get is that first one. Look how long it took Tottenham to get that first time in the Champions League, and then eventually they did it, and then obviously they got consistently in it quite a lot, didn't they? That first one's the hardest one, and that's what would get me a little bit, whether the pressure would get to them a bit too much, and if we win this one, we're going to get there. Like the Liverpool game was a prime example. That was a game to really stamp authority, send a message out, and we would have been like 4 points clear of them now, wouldn't we? If we would have won that and they lost yesterday. It's just that's the only thing with me in terms of the targets. But yeah, at the moment, anywhere between 5th and 8th would be amazing. But I'll tell you what, last 10 games, if we're still in now, it gets very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah. Our board better give Moyes what he wants. What would he do with 100 million? I don't think he would spend it all, mate. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a bit more astute and clever. I don't think Moyes needs 100 million. I think he would do a fantastic job with 100 million, but I think he could improve our team with 40 million. I think he's clever. I think it call it Divering Dave, don't they? But you can understand why he does that, can't you? You can tell which exactly the model of player that he wants and for his philosophy, can't you? Yeah,
and like you say, mate, I respect that, but there does need to be a balance as well. Otherwise, you end up in a situation where he takes too long, and we end up spending the rest of the season with no real recognised striker. So there needs to be a balance. You know what I mean?
Can't pronounce that name. Danny
K, mate.
Oh, Danny K. I'm thinking it's some Swedish name, Danny. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on Yarmolenko?
I like that picture. I like that cap.
No, that's very what's your opinion on Yarmolenko? Listen, he's a good player. You can't deny it. He's got a lovely left foot. I think he's had a lot of injuries in his career. Before the Dortmund injury, he was linked with Manchester United, for God's sake. He's very good for his country. I think sometimes his defensive awareness and his defensive work rate can let him down. But there is still a place for him at West Ham, mate, for you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It's funny enough, actually. I just bought the away shirt. Annoyed about it. I'm not going into that. But I just bought the away shirt with Yarmolenko on the back, mainly because shirt printing was free and I fancied the number 7 shirt. But I've only ever had 3 players' names.
You should have had Mark Keller, mate, legend, number 7.
3 players I've only ever had on the back of a West Ham shirt, and that's first one was Joe Cole. Second one was Lanzini, and now the third, Yarmolenko takes that honour, mate.
Weird one, weird one for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like I say, it was because it was free.
I think I would put Socek on my back now.
I didn't know. Do you know? I was tempted by Ogbonna.
Oh yeah,
but I'm not a defensive player, so it feels weird having a defender on the back of my shirt.
I'm not no player, mate. I'm no player. what do you get for sitting on the bench, like number 23 or something like that?
But if I'm wearing my shirt over 5-a-side or something, I can't have Bonner on the back of my shirt when I'm running up the wing. It doesn't work.
I'm very tempted to buy an England shirt with Declan Rice on the back.
Oh, good shout, mate.
I'm very tempted.
Good shout.
But he hasn't got a specific number yet. Like he's wore 4, he's wore 16, he's wore 23. So yeah, I might look what his official number is. I might get that for the summer. Rice.
Good shout. Good shout.
Yeah. You can't change a winning side. Got to be the same starting 11 on Saturday. Like we discussed earlier, mate, purely just because I like the fact that we can change it for different teams. You know, for Fulham, we haven't got to double up on the right-hand side to stop a world-class player like Jack Grealish. Lookman's a very good player, and they've got a couple of good players. But I'd be bringing Bowen in purely, again, for, you know, we should be going at Fulham. You know, we should be looking at them like wild animals, looking at their prey, trying to get a real convincing win on Saturday. What about you, mate?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. We said it earlier. I agree. You don't change your winning side. I agree with that. But for me, Fredericks comes out, Bowen goes back in. I think Fredericks was there for a specific role for that specific game.
I think it also encourages players to play better as well. You know, like, okay, Fredericks played really well. Jared, you're going in. You don't deliver, mate. He's there on your toes. He's there ready for you. Same with like Lingard and Fornals now. I love Fornals, but, you know, at the moment, Jesse's put himself in there. Do you know what I mean? And done what Lanzini and Fornals have not been able to do in that number 10 role all season.
It's interesting because Fornals obviously has been playing on the left predominantly. So for me, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Lingard playing in that number 10 role was the best we've seen this season. Breaks my heart to say it, but significantly better than Lanzini in that number 10 role. So really, Fornals is going to be fighting with Benrahma, because and I actually think it suits Benrahma playing on the left.
Better and better, mate, as well.
He does, but Benrahma suits playing on the left more. I think what we might end up seeing is, you know, for games where we want to be more attacking and going for it, you're going to see Lingard on the left. You're going to Lingard in the middle. You're going to see Benrahma on the left, Bowen on the right. When we need to sort of be a bit more defensive, that's when you'll see Fornals come in, probably instead of Benrahma. So it's good.
Good problem to have, mate.
Yeah, it's good, and it's good options that we've got. It's a shame that it's the only area of the pitch where we've got good options, because we've got nothing up front, we've got nothing in centre mid, we've got nothing at the back. So.
Yeah, Kent Hammer says Celtic or Rangers would be good for Champions League. Noah says, I reckon the board would be gutted if we're fifth, because then we'd have to pay 40 grand for the flights and the hotels. They don't like paying that money out, do they? Luke, shall we all go to the Winchester and wait for GSP to go and it all blow over? Sorry, watched Shaun of the Dead last night. Fantastic film, mate. Don't have to say sorry about that. No chance, Gary. It's always be there. Moyes, players, coaching staff will get all the praise. Obviously, that's whether GSB have been forgiven. I'm just going to see. It's a good question. If Moyes were to leave for whatever, would you? No way. Would you take Graham Potter as manager? I rate him. He plays good football and tactically smart. No, not for me. I don't actually rate him that highly, to be honest with you. I think he found out. I know they beat Liverpool last night, but I think he's. I don't know. I don't think he's as good as he is. No.
No. It's interesting though. If Moyes did,
I want Diego Simeone when we're in the Champions League.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's it. that'd do. Yeah.
Kent Hammer says, Luke, I said about Watkins and Wilson in the summer, and I got told a lot of people they were not good enough. No, I would have had Wilson all day long. I don't know whether my mate Sam's still in the chat. You know, he does nothing but rave about Wilson. He's a big Newcastle fan. I'm praying we get back in there for the last home game of the season. If the vaccinations keep going the way they are, wouldn't leave, just keep drinking. Yeah, true. Hopefully we can go back in before the end. And we'll discuss it in a minute. The FA Cup, obviously, as well. Champions League or bust for me. Can't see us coping with Europa League playing Thursday, Sunday all the time, because see the investment being made in the squad for Europa League. Yeah, you've got to have two really good teams.
You do. I think the only thing is
it's tough.
The only thing is not the nonsense that we've had before, getting knocked out by Astra Gugu in the qualifiers and all the rest of it. If we were going into the group stage, which would happen if we finished fifth, if we went into the group stage of the Europa League, it raises the profile of the club. If you look at players, so the likes of your En-Nesyri from Sevilla,
he wants to see Europa League, or
exactly, to get him to move from Sevilla, who are a team who are challenging in Europe, who are doing really well in Spain, to get a player like that, you can't be a mid-table other club in the Premier League. You know, if you can go to players like that and say, no, we're playing in Europa League, we're playing in Europe, it raises the profile of the club, and it helps the chances of getting those kind of players. I understand what you're saying. I agree with you. We don't have the squad. No, we don't have the squad barely to compete in the Premier League at the minute, let alone in Europe as well. But at least if we did it, it raises the profile of the club, and it can help you build a better squad for seasons going forward.
Will says, do you think Moyes will leave in the summer? It's a good question. Obviously, his contract's not been done yet, and it would be the ultimate, like, up yours to Sullivan, wouldn't it? Like, there you go. I showed you what I can do, and now I'm going. I think he believes in this project, though. I think, you know, he sees the project there, and I think he can see that. What have I said on this channel for 5 years, mate? I want West Ham to be like Everton, and I've said it for years on this channel, and I think he thinks he can do it. I think he sees that he has that same like hunger and energy back. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think I agree. I think he definitely feels like he can build something here. I think he's got a good rapport with the team. His backroom staff are fantastic. I don't think Moyes would go off of his own back. My worry would be the opposite, mate. My worry would be, what if Sullivan decides, actually, mate, I don't want to keep you. You know, maybe things are going a bit too well. You know, someone said
the uproar though now. Fans are surely behind Moyes now. Most fans, like, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, but fans ain't there, mate. Yeah. You know, he's been getting away with it, and you know, like someone said in the comments earlier about, I bet the board are gutted that we're fifth. Well, what if Sullivan looks at this and goes, actually, you know, maybe the fans like Moyes a bit too much. They're taking the pressure. He's putting the heat on me. What if Sullivan turns around and says, "Nah, not going to give you a new contract"? Maybe what if Sullivan did that as the ultimate middle finger to the fans?
Oh, wouldn't it be just? Wouldn't it be just? Yeah, he deserves it though. He does deserve it. But yeah,
he does.
Listen, I wouldn't be thinking if he did leave though. I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm a bit surprised that he left, because I could understand why he would do it, but I don't think he's that sort of guy. I really don't. I don't think he's that sort of guy. Gary says, I love the story that they're all in for extra training. Yeah, definitely. Irish Tommy, buy a Declan Rice shirt, Ireland one. Hi, lads. Thoughts on Lingard not being able to play against Manchester United in the Cup or the League? You know, super chat. Thank you. I'll put that on the screen in a minute, mate. Listen, it's just, again, it's that gentleman's agreement thing, a bit like the Snodgrass one.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not.
The Cup game, he's cup tied anyway, isn't he?
No, yeah, it's not. See,
it's a loan. Yeah,
it's a loan. Loans are different. So because it's a loan, it's in the rules to stop third party influence. So you can't, because technically his registration still belongs to Man United. He can't play against them because he could maybe throw the game and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's not allowed for loan players, because Man United still hold his registration. That's why. So that's the rules. But it is what it is. Like we have to get on with it. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game.
It is the fact. Listen, they absolutely tucked in Southampton, didn't they, the other day? The only thing is, will they be thinking about the Champions League? Would it be thinking about the league still? You know, they're still well in contention for the league title. It's going to be tough, though. Listen, going there is a tough game. We'll touch on it a little bit. No, actually, we won't, because we'll do a show the weekend and talk about that. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Real tough game. We've answered that one already. Do you think Charlton Simeone will go? Do you watch West Ham clips at all? Absolute genius. No. It's genius, mate. You're missing out. It's the guy who does the commentating over the West Ham games in like that robot voice.
You have to say.
It's absolute genius. It's genius, mate. It's hilarious. What would it take for you for your?
What would it take for your third hammer to pop one here? Christ knows.
God knows, mate. Maybe. I don't know, that his wife let him out or something. I don't know. Listen, he ain't ever coming back. I very much doubt he'll come back at all. He barely talks in a WhatsApp chat, let alone bloody come on here and show his face.
The thing is, realistically, right, we'd changed the channel. 2 reasons. First of all, you've got the whole branding thing, right? We're branded up. Everything, the Three Hammers, you know, it's what we're known as. I designed all the logos and everything. I could change them. But I feel like if we were called the Two Hammers, it sounds a bit weird.
No, mate, it sounds like something you would search on one of those sites that when you're alone by yourself,
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like
Two irons, the two hammers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. So yeah, no, I don't think
like me and Paul just working out in the gym, like the two irons.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get more donations for that. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. We can put it on OnlyFans as well. Stream live on OnlyFans.
So yeah, we're Free Hammers in name, but it is what it is.
I always say it, that I say it, the Free Hammers now. The way we go under it now is us, me and Paul, and you guys are the third hammer. You know, like the 12th man, you're the third hammer. You guys. And like I say, I invite you on all the time, don't I? And I'm going to start doing some things like what Gonzo does, you know, like on the weekends where you guys can come on and chat to me. I really enjoy doing that. Did you hear thousands were buying this year's kit for 17 quid? I believe Paul did exactly the same. But they've been taken off the website now. Apparently, they made over 80 grand from the third shirt. That's crazy.
See, that was M&M Direct. Have they been taken off the site? They were still up there very recently because I was surprised actually that they dropped on the site this morning. And I was really surprised that they didn't sell out straight away. But the thing is the club has already got the money for those shirts. They obviously just buy a massive amount of bulk stock off the club for whatever price and then whack them up there. I'm going to check that. So I'd be surprised if they've taken them off.
Yeah, it'd be very surprising. Yeah, Jamie Gill says from M&M Direct.
Oh, they have.
Oh,
I wonder if that was a pricing error.
Yeah, lucky you got.
I bought all of them. So
good price, mate. Good price. Moyes
17 quid was a ridiculous. They've been taken off the site. That is very interesting.
We should have bought one for a prize. We could have
given
one.
I bought the like I say, I bought the away one off the club. Gutted, cost me 36 quid. But then I saw that this morning, 17 quid, and I bought the home shirt and the third shirt. Bargain.
Nice shirt as well. Third shirt's a really nice shirt. Andy, mate, thank you so much.
Appreciate that, Andy. Really do.
Love it, mate. Listen, during these tough times as well, you don't need to donate, but it's great to see. So he says he's on the Red Stripes call. That's a proper beer, that is. And have a beer on me, gents. We will, mate. We will. I'll have one the weekend for you. Nice one. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. It would be tragic if Moyes left. It certainly would. Why do you think GSB are taking so long to offer Moyes a contract? He's got us in a position with very little financial backing. What more does he need to do to get him a new contract? It may be the case, mate, as well. A bit like if he gets this Champions League, he might have to we might have to give him 100 million, and I don't want to give him 100 million. And he'll probably be getting told in a few weeks' time, lose a few games, throw that cup game. Listen, we don't want to spend that much money. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? What about you?
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I said it 5 minutes ago, mate. The only way I see him not staying is if Sullivan decides you don't want to give him a contract.
That's a good name from Irish Tommy there, suggesting a name for us.
Cross-Dammers.
Cross-Dammers, yeah, I like that.
Too much change in the branding. Like we're the Free Hammers now. We're known as the Free Hammers. We've been the Free Hammers for years.
Yeah,
I'm not changing it now.
5 years.
I'm not changing it now.
Oh, the two irons. Again, you're hitting them dodgy roads there with the two irons. Get Kent on as the honorary third hammer. Right, last few bits, mate, because we've been on talking for a long time actually, quite a lot to cover. Let's talk about Fulham very, very quickly. So the last time we played him, mate, Lookman missed that comical penalty, didn't he? With the the arrogance at the end now. And again, we probably didn't play that well, if I remember. I think we was quite poor in that game, if I remember. I'm just trying to remember who the goal scorers were just very, very quickly. Anything you like about Fulham, mate? I love Scotty, obviously. I love Scotty Parker, my favourite West Ham player for a long time. Thomas Soucek shot, got the goal on the 90th minute. Yeah.
No, I don't have the same love for Parker as you do. We spoke about that many times. But I do. I actually really like him. You know, he comes across really, really well in interviews and all the rest of it. I don't know. It's a difficult one. Like Lookman's a really good player. In that game, actually, I'm pretty sure he had a really good game up until that point. Missed the penalty.
Yeah, he was one of the best players on the pitch at the time.
Yeah.
I remember it being a really frustrating game, actually. And their goalkeeper, who I'm a fan of, actually, Ariola, had a worldie, didn't he, that game? Where
he's had a great. He's a brilliant goalkeeper. He's one. We say this every week. He's one I'd definitely be looking at in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember we scored late. Like I say, I was seeing it there. 90th minute the goal was, and then obviously then we went and conceded the penalty. They're not a bad side, but it's a game we've got to be looking to win, no?
Oh yeah, of course it is. Definitely. It's 100% a game we should be looking to win, and if we play to our potential, it's a game that we should win as well. You know, it is. It's a game that we should win. There's no doubt about that.
I'm just looking here at their recent form, just because I know that some of you guys like knowing that stuff. So in recent form, I can't find it. Okay, forget the recent form. Top goal scorers for them is a guy called Reed. He's got 7 goals in all competitions. Mitrovic also there as well. And like I say, they're currently sitting in that bottom 3, aren't they, at the moment? But they've got a chance of getting out of it. If we win, though, mate, we will go on to that elusive 40 points, but it'll be 41 points if we win. And, Liverpool play Manchester City this weekend. Mate, we could really solidify ourselves in that top 4 this weekend.
Yeah, and we should, mate. It's a game that, like I say, we should be winning. There's no easy games really, but it's a game that we should be winning, especially on our recent performance. I expect City to beat Liverpool, mate. We should be in 4th, and we always say that, and then it'll probably go wrong. But yeah, no, 100%. That's exactly where we should be after this weekend.
Yeah,
and then it's Sheffield United, isn't it? Like, we've got a real good chance.
Well, we've got Manchester United in the cup, haven't we? Which is a huge game. We'll talk about that in the podcast next on the weekend if we do one. And then Sheffield United, and then I believe it's Spurs, and and Spurs is one of them. It goes anyway game, and I think Jose's starting to show the cracks a little bit there as well. I think the classic Mourinho's coming out, but it'd be just our luck that Harry Kane comes back from injury that game. And I believe he is targeting that game. I think that's what's been said. But yeah, what's your predictions for the game, Matt? I think if we can play the same level as last night, I think we can win quite comfortably. Again, if we show that same level of intensity, quick passing, good attacking, I think you could be seeing like a 3-0 win.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing, mate. 3-0. If we play the same as we did, I think Antonio's due a goal. He is. One of these shots he's going to go in. Antonio's due a goal. Lingard's obviously going to be buzzing. He's going to be well up for it. Ben Rama's due a goal as well. Bowen, if he comes back into the side, Souček can't stop scoring.
Well, I want to see Declan get a goal this season. He ain't scored this season yet, has he, Dex? That would be like the final little, cherry on the cake. Here's a funny question. If you got offered a deal to go to Hammers Chat on a 6-month loan deal, would you go? I appeared on Hammers Chat the weekend. I was there. I was on the show for 20 minutes talking to Gonzo during his Saturday supplement. I was on there. I appear on there quite a lot, actually.
Oh, friend.
Yeah, YouTube friends. I like Gonzo. Gonzo's a good lad, top lad. I wouldn't mind their views, though. I wouldn't mind their views and their subscribers. They're at 16K, so congratulations to them. They're, fantastic channel. They work so hard. I just realised we didn't score a goal from set piece last night. We are slacking. I can see us scoring some on Saturday. Yeah, what about that on the Liverpool game, mate? Them set pieces. We do put a good set piece in. Then Dawson scored right at the end. And then we were playing that crappy short corners. I don't know why we do it to ourselves. I really don't. Right, I'm going to finish off these comments and I think that will wrap it up for tonight. Safely secured after Saturday's game. First week in February, unheard of. What about Moyes for manager of the month as well, mate? Surely manager of the month. Surely.
Tell you what, mate, if he carries on, he's up for manager of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Antonio, should he start with the cup game on Tuesday? That's a good question. That's a really good question, actually. Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, mate. Lingard can't play on Tuesday, so maybe this is a chance for him maybe to play that false 9 formation on Saturday, because Antonio has to be saved for that cup game. That cup game's a massive game, and it's something that I want to see us take seriously. What about you, mate? But it's that league, it's that tease of that top 4.
I know, yeah. I think we have to. It's difficult. It's really difficult. I mean, you could play Yarmolenko up front, but then you just lose that energy. It's difficult. It's a difficult one. It'd be interesting to see what he does.
Or does he give Odebeco a go? I wouldn't. Yeah. It's just good.
I think it's a game where he could give the young lad a go. Definitely.
And then if needed, maybe bring Antonio on.
Yeah, it's definitely a game where he could give him a go. You know, it's a game where realistically we should be winning. It's definitely the sort of game where you could chuck him in. I don't know if he will though. It'd be interesting to see what he does. That's
a good question. Good question. Is this season better than the last Upton Park?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, not yet. It's a fantastic season. It's enjoyable. It's great to watch. But that last season at Upton Park was just like, an incredible emotional roller coaster. It was a joy, pleasure, absolute pleasure. But it's the most happy and most enjoyable since then. I would say since then.
Oh, since then, there's no doubt about it.
I don't think we're going to lose every time we go out on the pitch anymore.
Yeah, that last season, there was no fear of anybody. There was no fear. You know, I was going into every single game thinking we can beat anyone.
If we were 1-0 down, 2-0 down.
Yeah, there was no fear. Not quite at that point yet. Not this season.
All right, here's a question for you then. Is this a better team? I think it's a better team.
Take out Payet.
Don't wrong. You have Mark Noble playing the best season of his life, Chiatis and people like that. But I think this is a better team. Like if you put Dimitri Payet into this team now, Jesus Christ, what that could achieve. Do you know what I mean?
First, it's a better first 11. That's a really difficult question. That's a difficult question. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a difficult question.
Yeah, definitely. Peter says, "Please play a strong team in the cup. We could win it this year. Certainly could." Right, one more comment there. Gutted I can't be there home and away this season. It's typical West Ham to have a season when we can't go. It is, mate. It is typical us. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there because we've been going for a whole hour. But it's been good conversation tonight. Really, really enjoyed the show tonight. I actually run out of time for the stuff I had planned. I was going to do more Fulham stuff, talk about Manchester United, but the conversation flowed really, really nicely tonight. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You know, we're going to race for 4K now. And hopefully we get there very, very soon. Oh, wait. Celebrity in the chat here. West Ham Fan TV. Ryan Archer.
How's it going, Ryan?
Show before. Happy to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on. Souček has scored the same amount of Premier League goals as Payet in 13 games less. Yeah, I've completely forgot about that, mate. What'd you make on that, mate?
It's crazy, mate. And everyone's talking about Declan Rice leaving in the summer. We need to be looking out for Souček, mate. I said last night he'll be playing for Bayern Munich next year.
Yeah, definitely.
If he carries on.
Ryan says it all the time. Ryan says it on West Ham Fan TV. He says, I bet there's big clubs out there that are looking, going, have we missed him? How on earth have we missed this guy who scores goals from midfield?
That's the thing that's weird, because obviously even before we signed him, when he was playing for Slavia Prague, he was scoring goals in the what were they in, the Europa League or Champions League?
Yeah, Champions League. Yeah.
He was scoring goals in Europe. He was scoring goals in the Champions League. So that's a weird one that he went under the radar. But how lucky are we to have him? How lucky.
Sue Fowler for Prime Minister. Yeah, I'll use your line, Ryan. He's only 5 million. He's a 5 million right back. He says that on the post-match pod every week. Thanks for joining us, Ryan, mate. Really appreciate that. Anyway, guys, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Comment along with the show if you're watching this back. Until next time, guys, come on, you irons. Keep believing. Support the team, not the regime. Let's go.
Cheers.